Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening. Jasper's heart raced as he made the final adjustments to the quantum teleportation device. This was it. Years of research culminating in one moment that could change everything. He took a deep breath, steadying his hands on the control panel. Initiating teleportation sequence in 3, 2, 1. He pressed the button. A blinding flash of light engulfed him. Jasper felt his body dissolve, atoms scattering across space and time. When his vision cleared, he found himself surrounded by towering bioluminescent plants, their ethereal glow casting strange shadows. This was definitely not his lab. Holy sh... Jasper cut himself off, stumbling backwards. His foot caught on a root and he tumbled to the ground with an undignified yelp. Groaning, he pushed himself up and fumbled for his communicator. The screen was cracked, sparks flying from exposed wires. No, 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 he muttered, tapping frantically at his teleportation bracelet. Nothing happened. Come on, you piece of... A rustling in the undergrowth made him freeze. Glowing eyes peered out from between the foliage. Jasper's breath caught in his throat as several tall, blue-skinned humanoids emerged into the clearing. One of them, a striking female with bioluminescent patterns swirling across her skin, stepped forward. Her eyes widened as she took in Jasper's appearance. She spoke, her words incomprehensible to Jasper but melodious. Jasper raised his hands in what he hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "I come in peace," he said slowly, not expecting to be understood. To his shock, the woman's eyes lit up with recognition. She tapped a small device on her wrist, and when she spoke again, her words came out in perfect English. "Fascinating," she breathed, circling him slowly. "I've never seen a species quite like you before. What manner of creature are you?" Jasper gaped at her, struggling to find his voice. "I'm a human, from Earth. Name's Jasper." He gave an awkward little wave. "Don't suppose you could tell me where exactly I am? And how can you understand me?" The woman's head tilted curiously. "Earth? I'm unfamiliar with that planet. You're on Zorgon 9. She gestured to herself. "I am Kriya, lead xenobiologist of the Zorgonian Science Academy. As for understanding you, we have universal translators. Your language was easy for it to decode." "Zorgon 9? Jasper's knees went weak. That's not possible. I was just in my lab on Earth. The teleporter must have malfunctioned, sent me way off course." Krea's eyes lit up. "Teleporter? You have mastered instantaneous matter transportation?" "Well, mastered might be a bit of an overstatement," Jasper admitted with a grimace. Krea turned to her companion, speaking rapidly in a musical language Jasper couldn't understand. They nodded and dispersed back into the forest. "Come," she said, offering Jasper her hand. "You must tell me everything about this teleportation technology, and in return, I can help you acclimate to our world until we can find a way to return you home." Jasper hesitated for a moment before taking her hand. A tingle ran up his arm at the contact. Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks." As they walked, Jasper couldn't help but stare at Krea. Her skin seemed to shimmer with an inner light, patterns shifting and changing with her movements. It was mesmerizing. "So," he said, trying to break the awkward silence. "You're a xenobiologist? That's pretty cool. I'm a biologist too, actually. Focused more on genetics and molecular bio, though." Krea's eyes lit up. "How fascinating. Perhaps we could compare notes on our respective fields. I'd be very interested to learn about Earth biology." "Oh yeah, for sure." Jasper grinned. "I'd love to hear about Zorgonian biology too. Like, how does your bioluminescence work? Is it chemical? Bioelectricity?" "A combination of both, actually," Krea explained excitedly. "Our skin contains specialized organelles that..." They continued chatting animatedly as they made their way through the glowing forest. Despite the strangeness of his situation, Jasper found himself relaxing in Krea's presence. Her enthusiasm was infectious. As they walked, Jasper's foot caught on another root. He stumbled, pitching forward. Kreia caught him, her strong arms wrapping around his waist. "Careful," she murmured, her face inches from his. "The forest can be treacherous for those unfamiliar with it." Jasper's breath caught in his throat. This close, he could see flecks of silver in her violet eyes. "Right," he said hoarsely. "Thanks." Neither of them moved for a long moment. Then Kreia seemed to catch herself, stepping back quickly. Was it his imagination, or had her cheeks darkened to a deeper shade of blue? "We should continue," she said briskly. "The research facility isn't far now." As they resumed walking, Jasper couldn't help but sneak glances at Kreia. She was unlike any woman he'd ever met. Brilliant, exotic, captivating. He found himself hoping his stay on Zorgon 9 might last a while. The research facility turned out to be a massive structure of gleaming crystal and living plants, seamlessly blended together. Kreia led him through winding corridors to a large laboratory. "This will be your workspace while you're here," she explained. "I've instructed my team to give you full access to our equipment and databases." Jasper whistled, taking in the advanced technology. "This is incredible. Thank you, Kreia. I don't know how to repay your kindness." She waved a hand dismissively. "No repayment necessary. The opportunity to study a new species is payment enough." Her eyes twinkled mischievously. "Though I do expect you to submit to a full physical examination." Jasper choked. What?" Kreia laughed, a musical sound that sent shivers down his spine. "For science, of course. We must document your biology thoroughly." "Right, of course, for science." Jasper tugged at his collar, suddenly feeling warm. Over the next few days, Jasper threw himself into his work, dividing his time between trying to repair his teleporter and exchanging knowledge with Kreia. They fell into an easy rhythm, bouncing ideas off each other and delving deep into discussions of comparative xenobiology. Jasper found himself captivated not just by the alien world around him, but by Kreia herself. Her brilliant mind, her dry wit, the way her eyes lit up when she made a new discovery. He caught himself staring more than once, admiring the graceful way she moved and the mesmerizing patterns that danced across her skin. For her part, Kreia seemed equally fascinated by him. She peppered him with questions about Earth and human culture, hanging on his every word. Her touch lingered whenever they worked closely together, sending sparks through Jasper's body. One evening, as they were poring over some genetic sequencing data, Kreia suddenly looked up at him with an intense expression. "Jasper," she said seriously, "there's something I've been wanting to ask you." His heart skipped a beat. "Yeah?" "Your hair." She reached out, running her fingers through his unruly brown locks. "How does it maintain its shape without any apparent muscular structures or rigid support?" Jasper blinked, thrown by the unexpected question. Then he burst out laughing. "It's just how it grows," he explained, still chuckling. "We style it with various products to keep it in place." Kreia's brow furrowed adorably. "Fascinating. And is it true that it continues to grow throughout your lifespan? How do you prevent it from becoming unmanageable?" "We cut it," Jasper said, amused by her intense curiosity about something so mundane. "Here, feel it." He took her hand and guided it to his hair. Kreia's eyes widened as she ran her fingers through it, marveling at the texture. "It's so soft," she murmured. Her face was very close to his now, violet eyes locked on his own. Jasper's breath caught in his throat. The air between them seemed to crackle with tension. Almost without thinking, he started to lean in. Kreia jerked back suddenly, nearly toppling off her chair. "I just remembered," she exclaimed a bit too loudly. "There's a a very important science thing I need to check on, right now." She practically fled the lab, leaving a confused and slightly hurt Jasper behind. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. Maybe he'd misread the signals, cultural differences and all that. The next day, things were awkward between them. Kreia seemed determined to maintain a professional distance, keeping their interactions strictly work-related. Jasper tried to respect her boundaries, but he couldn't help feeling disappointed. As they were wrapping up their work for the day, Jasper decided to clear the air. "Hey, Kreia," he said hesitantly. "About last night. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable. I didn't mean to overstep any boundaries." Kreia's shoulders tensed. "It's fine," she said stiffly, not meeting his eyes. "I simply realized that our relationship was becoming unprofessional. It's best if we maintain some distance." Jasper's heart sank. "Right, of course. I understand." An awkward silence fell between them. Jasper fidgeted with his equipment, trying to think of something to say to salvage the situation. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the facility. Red lights flashed as a computerized voice announced, "Warning, unstable quantum fluctuations detected. Possible breach in dimensional barriers imminent." Kreia's eyes widened in alarm. "The teleporter!" she exclaimed. They rushed to the machine, which was sparking and emitting an ominous hum. Jasper's hands flew over the controls, trying to stabilize it. "It's overloading," he shouted over the noise. "The power core is going critical." "Can you shut it down?" Kreia asked urgently. Jasper shook his head. "Not enough time. It's going to blow." Without thinking, he grabbed Kreia and pulled her close, shielding her with his body just as a blinding flash of light erupted from the machine. For a moment, everything went white. Then slowly the world came back into focus. Jasper found himself lying on the floor. Kreia sprawled on top of him. Their faces were inches apart. "Are you okay?" he asked breathlessly. Kreia nodded, seemingly dazed. You protected me," she said softly. "Of course," Jasper replied. "I couldn't let you get hurt." They stared at each other for a long moment, hearts pounding. Then, slowly, Kreia leaned in. Jasper's eyes widened as he realized what was happening. He started to lean up to meet her, and then Kreia sneezed. Right in his face. Jasper yelped, jerking back and nearly cracking his head on the floor. Kreia scrambled off him, looking mortified. "I'm so sorry," she exclaimed. "I don't know what came over me. Are you all right?" Wiping his face, Jasper couldn't help but laugh. "I'm fine," he assured her. "Though I have to say, that's not quite how I imagined our first kiss going." Kreia's cheeks darkened to a deep blue. "Kiss? Is that what you were trying to do last night?" Jasper's laughter died. Yeah. Sorry about that. I guess I misread the situation." No, Kreia said quickly. "I was interested. I just didn't understand. On Zorgon 9, we express affection through synchronized bioluminescence displays." "Oh," Jasper blinked. "That actually sounds pretty cool, though I'm not sure how I'd manage it, being non-bioluminescent and all." Kreia's lips quirked up in a smile. "Perhaps we could find a compromise? I'm willing to try this kissing if you are." Jasper grinned, heart soaring. "I'd like that," he said softly. This time, when they leaned in, there were no interruptions. Their lips met in a soft, tentative kiss. Jasper felt a tingling sensation spread through him, his skin seeming to glow faintly. When they parted, both were slightly breathless. Kreia's bioluminescent patterns were swirling rapidly, creating a dazzling light show. As their lips parted, Jasper opened his eyes, expecting to see Kreia's radiant smile. Instead, he found her frozen, eyes wide with shock. She jerked away, stumbling backwards until she hit a lab table. "Kreia?" Jasper asked, confused. "What's wrong?" What? What was that?" Kreia's voice trembled. Her bioluminescent patterns flashed erratically, reflecting her distress. Jasper's brow furrowed. "It was a kiss. You said you wanted to try it." "I didn't realize it would involve fluid exchange," Kreia exclaimed, wiping her mouth vigorously. "Is this how humans initiate the reproductive process?" "What? No?" Jasper sputtered. "I mean, it can lead to that, but kissing isn't just about reproduction. It's a way to show affection, to express love and desire. Krea's luminescent patterns dimmed to a dull glow. Love? Desire? I don't understand. Zorgonians reproduce through a carefully controlled genetic merging process. Physical contact isn't necessary. Jasper's mind reeled. Wait, so you've never... I mean, Zorgonians don't have sex? Sex? Krea tilted her head. You mean recreational genetic material exchange? That's a myth. Some fringe scientists theorized it might be possible, but it's never been proven. Oh boy, Jasper muttered, running a hand through his hair. Okay, we need to talk. Maybe sitting down would be good. They settled into chairs, Krea maintaining a careful distance. Jasper took a deep breath, trying to figure out where to start. All right, so on Earth, humans engage in physical intimacy for a variety of reasons. Yes, reproduction is one of them, but it's not the only one. We also do it for pleasure, to bond with our partners, to express love and attraction. Krea's brow furrowed. But that's so inefficient and messy. How do you control for genetic compatibility? Jasper chuckled. We don't, really. That's what makes it exciting. It's about the emotional connection as much as the physical one. Fascinating, Krea murmured, her scientific curiosity clearly piqued. And this kissing, it's a precursor to the full reproductive act? It can be, Jasper said, feeling his cheeks heat up. But it's also enjoyable on its own. It releases chemicals in our brains that make us feel good, strengthen our bond with our partner. Krea leaned forward, eyes sparkling with interest. A neurochemical response. Now that I can understand. What other physical manifestations occur during human courtship rituals? Jasper coughed, tugging at his collar. Well, there's increased heart rate, flushed skin, pupil dilation. Intriguing, Krea exclaimed. She pulled out a data pad and began taking notes. Please continue. What about organ engorgement? I've read theories about that in some xenobiology journals. Jasper choked on air. Maybe we should save that discussion for another time, he managed, face burning. Krea looked up from her pad, disappointed. But this is valuable scientific data. Perhaps a practical demonstration would be helpful. For research purposes, of course. For research, right? Jasper muttered. He took a deep breath, steeling himself. Look, Krea, I like you. A lot. But I don't want to be just a science experiment. Human relationships. They're complicated, messy, emotional. Krea's luminescent pattern swirled thoughtfully. I see. And you believe we have the potential for such a relationship? Jasper nodded, heart pounding. I do, if you're willing to try. For a long moment, Krea was silent. Then, slowly, she reached out and took Jasper's hand. A tingling sensation spread up his arm at the contact. I find myself curiously drawn to you, Jasper, she said softly. Perhaps exploring these human customs would be a worthwhile endeavor. Jasper grinned, squeezing her hand gently. I'd like that. Over the next few weeks, Jasper and Krea embarked on a crash course in interspecies dating. There were plenty of misunderstandings and awkward moments, but also laughter and genuine connection. Krea approached their budding relationship with scientific zeal, peppering Jasper with questions about human courtship rituals and insisting on documenting every new experience in meticulous detail. So, hand-holding serves no practical purpose, she asked as they strolled through a bioluminescent garden one evening. Jasper chuckled. Not really. It just feels nice. Comforting. Krea hummed thoughtfully, lacing her fingers more firmly with his. I suppose I can see the appeal. The skin-to-skin contact does produce a not unpleasant sensation. High praise, Jasper teased. Next thing you know, you'll be writing sonnets about the ergonomic efficiency of interlocking digits. Krea's patterns flickered in amusement. Don't be absurd. Zorgonian poetry is based on bioluminescent light shows, not antiquated verbal structures. Oh, really? Jasper raised an eyebrow. Care to give me a demonstration? Krea's eyes sparkled mischievously. I'm not sure you could handle my artistic expression. It might overload your primitive human senses. Jasper clutched his chest in mock offense. Primitive? I'll have you know I have very sophisticated senses, thank you very much. Prove it, Kreia challenged, stepping closer. Jasper's breath caught as she placed a hand on his chest. Her bioluminescent patterns began to swirl and pulse in mesmerizing patterns. He found himself captivated, lost in the play of light across her blue skin. Wow, he breathed. That's beautiful. Kreia's patterns glowed brighter. It's a poem about scientific discovery and the beauty of the unknown. Does it affect you? Jasper nodded, not trusting his voice. Slowly, giving her time to pull away, he leaned in and pressed a soft kiss to her lips. This time, Kreia didn't recoil. Instead, she leaned into the kiss, her patterns flaring brilliantly. When they parted, both were slightly breathless. I believe I'm beginning to see the appeal of your human customs, Kreia murmured. Jasper grinned. Just wait until I introduce you to dancing. As their relationship deepened, however, new challenges arose. Jasper found himself struggling to understand Zorgonian social cues and courtship rituals. What do you mean? You want to merge our research projects? He asked, baffled, after Kreia made what she claimed was a romantic overture. Kreia's patterns pulsed with excitement. It's a traditional step in Zorgonian courtship. By combining our scientific endeavors, we demonstrate our compatibility and commitment to mutual growth. Jasper ran a hand through his hair. That's sweet, I guess. But on Earth, we usually go on dates. Shared activities for fun, not work. But work is fun, Kreia protested. Okay, how about this? Jasper suggested. We can collaborate on a project together, but we'll also try some traditional Earth date activities. Deal? Kreia considered for a moment, then nodded. Acceptable. What did you have in mind? Jasper grinned. Ever heard of mini golf? The resulting outing was equal parts hilarious and disastrous. Kreia approached the game with scientific precision, calculating angles and force vectors for each shot. Jasper, meanwhile, just tried to keep his ball out of the numerous water hazards. I don't understand the purpose of this activity, Kreia complained, after her ball ricocheted off a windmill blade for the third time. How does it improve our compatibility or advance scientific knowledge? Jasper laughed, retrieving her ball. It's not about that. It's about having fun together, making memories. Kreia's brow furrowed. Fun? You mean the activity itself is the goal, not any tangible outcome? Exactly, Jasper said. Haven't you ever done something just because it's enjoyable? Kreia was quiet for a moment, her patterns swirling thoughtfully. I suppose I find our conversations enjoyable, even when they don't directly relate to our research. Jasper's heart warmed. See? That's kind of the same thing. He held out the golf club. Want to try again? This time, don't overthink it. Just hit the ball and see what happens. Kreia took the club hesitantly. She lined up her shot, then swung. The ball arced through the air,